I don't really want to talk about my life. However, I feel that I must tell someone about this. To start off, I wasn't really the social type. Everyone was accustomed to ignoring me, and most of the time forgot I was even around. The only thing I ever did when I was lonely was play on my PS2. On my 16th birthday, I went to GameStop and noticed that they were having this buy two get one free deal for PS2 games. I looked at their stacks of PS2 games and grabbed the Final Fantasy X, Kingdom Hearts 2, and that one game that caught my eyes was Shin Megami Tensei, a Persona free FES. I thought I've heard of the Persona series, but never really played it at all, the time that I could never find a used copy. After I bought the games, I went home and decided to try out the games that I got that day. I played some Final Fantasy X and Kingdom Hearts 2 and loved it. I was actually enjoying myself at the time, you know? When you feel great, even though your life is crappy. Anyways, it was late at night and I decided to give Persona Free FES a try to see if it was any good. The game started off with an anime intro that showed in these different characters that some play. After the intro, I was really intrigued on how the game would play. When I started to select a new game, then I chose my difficulty. Introduced me to the game before I get the actual game. I even had to go through a cutscene with my characters taking a train somewhere, and at the same time showing a girl pointing a gun at her head and dropping it. After all that, my character just went into a dorm and then I got to name him. After another anime cutscene, an off game in dialogue, my character went to his room and went to bed. And then I ended up and fought what I thought was an elevator. There, I met two strange people. One was short, white haired man that wore a black suit, and the other one had big eyes named Igor. Now, he was a slim, white haired girl with yellow eyes. Her name was Elizabeth. And Igor said to my character, I have seen you finally made it here. Welcome to Velvet Room. We have been waiting for you for a long time. Elizabeth then came up and said, You have been lonely for a while, haven't you? As soon as I heard that, I was creeped out. I just thought it's just a game and she's probably talking about the main character. Igor then said, Until we meet again, and then left. Afterwards, it was day 2 in the game, and my character was going to school. After an anime cutscene and a more game dialogue, I went back to the dorms and saved using the sign-in sheet on the desk. After I saved, I decided to turn off the game and go to sleep. The next day I went to school and spent the whole day alone once again. When I came home, I did my homework and decided to play some Persona 3 more. When I started up the game, I didn't get the anime intro like last time. Instead it showed up to me in the Velvet Room, but my character wasn't around. Igor then looked at me and said, Hello again, welcome to the Velvet Room. Did you have a long day at school again? I dropped my controller and ran to the bathroom. I splashed my face with cold water and then went back to my PS4. Igor then told me, Do not fear, we are simply here to have a chat with you. Afraid but curious, I decided to sit down and look at the TV with Igor and Elizabeth looking at me. Until then I asked, How did you know about me? I thought it was stupid for me to ask, since there was no way a game would respond, but it did. Igor pulled out 4 blue cards and said, The cards told me. They contain everything there is to know about you. I sat there in complete silence and shock. Elizabeth then said, We know everything about you. We know what you spend your time alone, thinking about everyone ignores you. Well, the truth is, you who ignores them. I irritated and told her that it was not true and that she should shut up. Elizabeth responded, Don't lie. You talk as if you really want people to notice you. But with all due sincerity, all you do is ignore them and act like you're the victim. When in truth, you are no better than they are. Your fate is in the cards. Do not try to escape it. Should you choose this path, you will spend your life all alone. Nobody to talk to, nobody to love. You'll just stay here and die alone. Then I asked, Why are you telling me all this? Igor replied, In time you shall truly know. It is not up to us to tell you why you should do. But now then, we must be on our way. Enjoy the game. The game then started up with just the anime intro. I turned off my PS2 and then put it away. I haven't touched it again since, but ever since that day, those words of what they told me have been stuck in my mind. Your fate is in the cards. That day I thought to myself, if that is true, does that mean I could change? If our fate is in the cards, can we change that fate? And that, my little pretties, was Your Fate is in the Cards, a creepypasta. Well, a gaming pasta in this case. My final thoughts on this story? Well, I could definitely say it's a really good persona free creepypasta. Like, I mean, I've seen a couple people narrated this one, and this story I just found out who the author is. I just looked at Silver Story's narration of it. The story is written by CloudGamerX. My final thoughts on this story? I actually really enjoyed this pasta. It's a pretty good curry pasta for what it is. However, though, I do have a few things that I kind of want to make a mention of. I mean, some of them being there are some cliches. Like, I mean, one of them being, you get a bootleg game from like a GameStop. I know this is an older pasta, so I'm willing to give that a pass, but that cliche I think that I needed to make a mention of, cause yeah, I just needed to make a mention of that cliche because I know and I understand that cliches like that has been done to death for like God knows how long, so there's definitely that. That story has been, a pretty good story for what it is, but that cliche there just has been done, already. Like I mean, I understand that this is a this is just it's an older pasta, so I'm willing to give it a slide. So there's that. And the next thing I really have to say, I know this is kind of cliched and all that, was the game talking to the person, like about their actual life. I mean, I know it's freaky and all, but that's another cliche that um, sorry about that. I had something in my throat, so yeah, I had a tickle in my throat. I had to cough, so yeah. Anyways, like I said, the game talking to the person, I mean, that has been done in other creepypastas. So there's definitely that. I know it's an older one, but I think that, I wanted to just to make a mention of this one. I mean, I understand this is an older pasta, so I'm willing to give it, a slide on that. But with all due sincerity, the story just didn't really make like a whole lot of sense. At least to me. I wasn't really a fan of, the cliches that were incorporated in there, but although I'm willing to let them slide because it's an older stories. Like, I mean, the messed up concept of, sitting there and seeing oh yeah, seeing, the game, knowing about it, and somebody, putting the game away and haven't touched it since. I mean, the ending was somewhat not really satisfying. I mean, what could have been better is maybe the protagonist could have, gone out of his way to find out, who was responsible for making this game, where did it come from, how did it appear in GameStop. I mean, if there was an explanation on how that got here, then maybe that would be somewhat believable. But yet again, I understand this is an older story, so yeah, there's not really much I can say. But I'm gonna say this. The grammar was good. I'm not gonna lie. The grammar was actually pretty good, as well as the sentence structuring, the storyline. Everything about it was flat out fantastic. I really do find this story to be, pretty good for what it is. I mean, it's a good story, but I do have to believe that if the cliches were not incorporated in there, maybe the story would be somewhat believable. But yet again, who really knows? Like, I mean, this story was not a bad story. I do think that maybe it needs to be revised a bit. Maybe just, fix, maybe just remove the cliches, or maybe write a better ending. Like, maybe a better ending to how the game appeared or something, or at least something to make it more, believable and the story more satisfying in a sense. At least to me that is. But yet again, it's an older story, so I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. But I mean, I like how the plotline and everything about this story was. It's really good. Like, I mean, I like this one. And I've been wanting to narrate this one for quite a while, so that's kind of why I decided to sit right here and, take a look at it. So, anyways, I'm gonna sit here and say this right now. This is just simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these creepypastas, and this is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this story would have to be a I'm gonna give this one an 8 out of 10. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 because it was a classic creepypasta. It was definitely well made. There's a lot of time and effort into this story. I really do find this one to be enjoyable. This is on the regular creepypasta wiki. If you guys want to check out that story, feel free to check it out. You will not be disappointed, and I honestly still find this one to be very well made and enjoyable story. Now, anyways, if you guys want to take a look at other narrations of this story, feel free to do so. And this story is written by CloudGamerX. So, CloudGamerX, awesome job with this story. So, there's definitely that. I'm definitely saying this now. Awesome job with this story. It was fantastic. Although, besides the ending not really being satisfying and the cliches, that were incorporated in there, you managed to incorporate them very well. I just want to give that to the offer. Anyways, what did you guys think about this creepypasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you all not? Also, what we have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Feel free to leave me now what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you happen to be brand new here on this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell when I upload, so that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out.